looking at a young black king.
Astro project, blast of a tech, pass your neck with the shit to leave a rapper erect from the back of a black Acura. Bullet ricocheted and it's weighted and it passed through your pecs, the assassin wet. All y'all know y'all don't have to go. Sawed off shoddy, make you potty, probably call the law. Me no gangster, I'm no tough, got me child of the most high. I get on the mic and you go, bye-bye. Devil don't test me, I throw shrapnel where your chest be. Shooting our family down in the streets, fuck the police, they ain't marching for me. Pull up, not that Rari, I ain't bad yet. I pull up out that 85% of mass at. I put this on God, bad black is so hard. Bitch, I'm going back to Harlem in my West African garb.
I'm going back to Harlem in my West African garb. Y'all better go get that fortune, man. Young Black Kings, man. ETM Hotel, Rennie, Sean, welcome in peace. My name is Sean. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning into the Mozzie Warrior Clan YouTube channel. Please like the show, share the show, tell a friend. We live and in full effect. Today we have Brother Ankh West versus Brother Ankh West. The Great Debate Part 2. All right. So we're gonna take a venture back down the pipe and deal with this behavior issues of our elder brother Ankh West. Since you want to do a rewind, and Cedric, I'm coming for you next. I don't know if I want to give you that energy. But I'm gonna give this energy to Ankh. Yeah, let's laugh. Let's get into that. So for those of you who first time tuning into the show have no idea what Brother Ankh and I was actually having a conversation about, we were going over he said something about the Big Bang show that I actually did, right, where I actually got into all the scientists and all of that, and I read the teachings of the Congo, and I've read these teachings over and over that I've probably commemorated it to memory over and over and over again by now. However, he says that he has an issue with that I was wrong. So we're going to, and I asked him this question, we're going to get into that now. Initially, this was something that I wasn't going to do, but I'm going to tell you what I had the idea of doing was to clip his videos and make a video out of them, kind of like I did Sheffrin, and let you see the problems that we have when our brother gets old enough to not want to pass the baton, but still want to teach. So there's a lot going on right now. And this is what I mean by reading comprehension, study teams. I don't think you might argue with people about certain things, but study teams, meaning that several people in that group got the same work and everybody can dig into that work, critique it, scrutinize it, and then draw an honest conclusion of that work. But if you're handicapped and you don't have said subjects, then you're on the outside looking in. And especially if you're not involved in these conversations or in these study groups with the rest of your team. Instead, you might opt out to go be in the barbershop. Oh, I'm cooking today. Since it's he, all of that, I'm cooking. And it ain't nothing that none of y'all can do. None. So if you ain't even reading the works, if you ain't even trying to study the things, if you're not looking at these ancient teachings, or if you're not even dealing in the level or lane of research, proper research methodology, and applying that or having some type of scientific integrity, you're joking right now. And this is where the little brother exceeds the big brother. This is where we elevate and you stay at the level you at. You're acting like Reggie right now, Ankh. You have no one to truly make you go do your homework. But on the Masi Warrior Clan, you actually do. We provide that energy. So you finna have to go do your homework. Exhibit A. Diaries of a Pseudo Killa. Ankh versus Ankh. The big brother versus himself. He didn't want me to look. So let's go. Let me put it on the screen. You know. Hold on. You know, I got a clicking problem with this bandage.
Since you don't want to, yeah, I want you, because we here, right now. We got 10 minutes. Right, I'm going to make this statement. I'm going to let you talk.
I don't need 10 minutes.
No, hold on, Sean. I'm going to make this statement. I'm telling you right now, there is not one African prehistoric nation. There is not one Asian nation. There is not one North American Stone Age nation that understood the Big Bang and understood how the cosmos came to exist.
Who the fuck said that they understood the Big Bang? Who the fuck said that they understood the Big Bang? I said. You see how he tried to change it all? He wanted to discuss Big Bang. So he had an energy for me already. He had an energy for me already. See, this is what I was talking about yesterday. And people thought that you know what I'm saying? He was getting all mad yesterday. See, this is what I was talking about right here. Since you think, yeah, put it up. See, this is what you was doing yesterday. You was playing with me right here.
I'm saying that.
You see how you listen? Your competency level is low. You're hanging around the wrong people. You're hanging around the wrong people. I'm telling you this right now. Who the hell said that people prehistoric knew the Big Bang, understood the Big Bang? Nobody understands the Big Bang. They still don't even understand it today. Who said? I never made a claim that people in Africa.
What's the statement about them hanging around the wrong people, yo?
All of that, he goes all the way back about hanging around the wrong people. So I'm going to define it for you. You're not academically or scholastically being challenged if you're the smartest person in the room. I'm going to say it again. You're not academically or scholastically achieving anything if you're the smartest. Those are your words. If I'm the smartest person in the room, I need to get out of the room. It's me, you, and Cedric. And Cedric from the onset, and I can go back to the beginning of this video, it's just you and Cedric on the panel. And what do you say to Cedric? Me and you, we gonna rock out. Your yes man. Cedric is your yes man. And I'm gonna show you how he's your yes man in the next clip that I play when it's Ankh versus Ankh. So let's go. If your competency level is
what's that though? That sounds like a slur to me.
Well, okay, well then I slurred you then, my nigga.
Okay, so I'm gonna shut up. What the fuck was you talking about that African Big Bang? Because you did do that, bro. Don't play. Don't play. What did you say? What was you trying to say in the same sentence?
Are you telling me these people weren't trying to explain the natural effects of the earth?
Nigga, I'm saying that all that Big Bang talk of the affirmation was wrong.
That is not what I asked. Now you heard me ask him a question. He refused to peep the question. So, big brother Ankh, it is you versus yourself right now. Now you're on public display. And I'm going to show y'all why I'm doing this right now when I get through this little 5-10 minutes of us yelling at each other.
I'm saying they got it wrong. I'm saying, yeah, they was and they got it wrong is what I'm saying.
Okay, so they were trying to explain what happened in the universe.
And the Bible was too, bro. The Bible was too, bro. The Hebrews was too.
You don't even know what the Bible is talking about.
They was trying to explain the world and how it came into being.
All right.
Don't sound like you backing down.
7 days.
It sound like you backing down, though, Sean.
No, I ain't backing down. No, I
so what you saying? So what you saying? So what you standing on? We want to hear what you standing on, Sean.
Okay, science still, listen. Science.
Go back to the African shit.
No. Science. Don't run, motherfucker. Don't run.
You going to science now?
You want a Big Bang, right? You want a Big Bang, right? You want a Big Bang.
They still have so many unanswered questions, but yet here we are, we talking about the Big Bang. I clearly stated what I stated in there. So for you to run left and move the goalpost,
okay, let's move it back, Sean. Sean, I just want.
He can't hear me because I'm yelling. I hear everything that I'm saying, just like everybody else is hearing what I'm saying. When I ask him a question, he don't answer. So watch me ask him a series of questions, and then we're going to get into why the name of the show is called Ankh versus Ankh, the Diaries of a Pseudo Killer.
I want to scratch the itch for you because it seems like you had an itch. So get back. Hold on. So get back. It is an itch. That's why I want to clear it up. So get back to the Africans and what now? What was you trying to say in that video? What?
What you mean? What? I said what I said in the video, and I
so
still
admit, okay, so you meant they got it all wrong then.
Got what wrong? Everybody's trying to explain that natural world.
So here it is again. He's saying that the Bantu teachings was all wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, remember this. We're at the 3 hour, 14 minute, and 1 second mark in this video called The Importance of Understanding Science, My Grassroots Organizations Rejected. In this video, at the 3 hour, 14 minute, and 1 second mark, Ankh says that the Bantu teachings got it all wrong. Y'all heard him say that.
Nigga, their explanation was wrong. Can we agree?
Now he says their explanation was all wrong, and he wants me to agree with that.
What was wrong about the explanation?
I'm gonna make you say it because it was wrong.
What was wrong? Where? Show me where it was wrong.
It was wrong.
Show it.
It was wrong, Sean.
But it wasn't a fireball?
Nope.
It wasn't. So what happened?
Sean, ain't no fire.
He says there was no fireball. Remember this. We're at the 3 hour and 14 minute mark. He says that there was no fireball. He says that they got it all wrong. And Brother Venice, I got $1,000 that you can't come on here and prove that they got it wrong in their teachings. I got $1,000 in there that you can't prove their teachings wrong. He said all wrong. I got $1,000, Brother Venice, right now that you can't. You put up a G, I put up a G. I guarantee you can't prove that they got their teachings all wrong.
Ain't no oxygen in space to get no damn fire, Sean.
No. Listen,
Sean, there is no fire. Sean, no.
There's no oxygen space to get no fire, Sean. You heard this.
No,
you're not listening. You're talking.
I'm gonna let you get yourself. Go ahead, you tap dancing.
So how was the Earth formed up? So how was the Earth formed up?
No damn fireball, Sean.
No.
Ain't no damn fire, Sean.
No. Forget all of that. How was the Earth
Sun
formed?
don't even produce fire, Sean.
I'm asking a direct question.
Gravity and dust particles colliding, bro.
And okay, so out of the colliding, what occurred? Was it a bang? Did the Earth overheat? What happened?
Ain't no sound. Ain't no sound in space. There's no sound in space. So what's no bang?
I'm not saying all of it. I'm not saying all of it.
What are you saying then? So you saying things before
why are you running?
I just said it. I said it's gravity.
Explain. Okay, so
I said it's gravity.
Explain what happened.
I said it's gravity.
Two things collided, and then what happened?
I said dust.
No, it didn't, Omar. He said it was all wrong. See, you can't say. Ankh said that it's all wrong. You don't believe me. I'm going to show and prove. He said they were all wrong. So don't give me this. He said they got some right. None of that. He said they all wrong. And Venice, you said they got it wrong. Prove it. You don't know. See, this is where your competency level comes in because no one's paying attention to the keywords in the whole damn mapping the universe because nobody has the book. So I read it over and over again, and I guarantee you it went over all y'all heads. It says the Bantu teachings.
I said particles collide together, and gravity pushes them together, and they form. Okay, so now what's next?
What form?
You asked me how the Earth formed, and I told you it's a big ass dust.
You said what form? So what form?
The Earth. The earth. It ain't got nothing to do with fire and none of that.
What form, Unc?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I thought you asked me a question.
He said it ain't had nothing to do with no fire or none of that. That's what he said. He said it has nothing to do with no fire or none of that. I pay close attention to everything people say. So this is not going to be me projecting anything. This is going to be Ankh versus Ankh, the Diaries of a Pseudo Killer.
And I thought you asked me a question about the earth.
Did the earth cool up?
Sean, what that got to do with you? Why you doing this, Sean? Why is he doing this, Sean?
Cool up.
Of course it did, Sean.
So it had to be hot, huh? Was it hot around here?
It had to, Sean. Oops, and your point being?
He just said that there was no fire. So what was it? What made it hot? Because this is where people don't understand. When you go back to what it says, and we gonna hear, let me stop right there and let's just go ahead and let's have some fun. So an hour 52 into their Merry Atheist Christmas.
God cooked this little Bantu proverb that they use called God cooked dough, i.e. the magmatic matters, the Big Bang. You didn't want to say that. It is the result of being said. Say something else. Then I turned around and I played videos, right, with astrophysics saying similar things, using the data that they have today to clearly give a American perspective on how things came to how this planet became to or what we know as the Big Bang.
First of all, Cedric, nobody in the Caribbean got into the whole conversation about the Big Bang. It was only Western American scientists that were pushing this information wholeheartedly. I don't recall not one astrophysicist from the Caribbeans or whatever island that you sit on. Not one. If there is one, correct me and name it. This is why I said yes, man. I'm giving you the Diaries of a Pseudo Killer and his yes, man. Don't play with me, boy.
Hey, Fritz, that's why we keep saying that perspective shit is bananas.
Yes, I get it.
I get American perspective.
Or a scientific pseudo. That's the pseudo way.
Pseudos.
No, all right. Uncle Ted.
What?
Uncle Ted. But then he could turn around to you and say, in their belief, listen.
No, he can't. No, he can't. He quoted
Listen to the yes man. Listen to the yes man. They don't even want to listen to Fitz.
Watch. Everybody focus. Watch this.
I'm at a loss for words. Where is the argument here? You wanted me to sit on the pseudo killers and explain this? No, why? I've already did it. You're trying to charge me with something that you can't charge. This is why I told you you don't listen. You was like, you're trying to ask me all these questions. I was asking you all those questions, to show you that there's no disagreement. I asked you clearly, how did the earth come to be? And you said two things happened, and they met up, and then a reaction came out of that. But you was trying to be real careful in what you was trying to explain because you didn't want to say something that sounds similar to magmatic matters.
What the hell is that?
You didn't want to say the universe, as we see and know it, is as the result of a primitive event that occurred in and around it, well known as God took this little Bantu proverb that they use, i.e. the magmatic matters, the Big Bang.
I.e. No, it doesn't say that. It doesn't say.
Okay, so Cedric, since you know the source so much, and you don't know what the source says. See, you sitting there saying this is what I mean by the Diaries of a Pseudo Killer. You don't have the books. You don't read. So let me get my little screenshots up on the screen and show you what I'm reading from. For the Bantu people, the Congo in particular, the universe as we see and know it is the result of a primitive event that occurred in and around it, well known as the Luku, Lawamba, and Zambi. God cooked dough, i.e. You see, you heard me say i.e. What did I say in there? I.e. the magmatic matters, the Big Bang. It is the result of an expanding fire process that leaves behind through a cooling process. Remember what I said when I was questioning Ankh? And he kept on saying what he was saying. Let's just listen to you, my boy.
Fire process that leaves behind through a cooling process.
And you know what that is?
I said, was the earth not hot at some point? He was like, they don't know that. They don't know if the earth is not hot. And then I said, well, did the earth cool? Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, it was cooling.
Pause it. No, that's way off of what we can't.
First of all, Venice, I don't know why you here. If you just now here today and you didn't listen to our show yesterday, then the question that you answered, the question that you're asking in the chat was answered yesterday in the chat. Ben clearly he clearly said what he said. He says, I don't know, I don't care to know, and I don't give a damn how they did it. They did it. That was echoed. We don't care how they know or when they knew. They said what they said. It's their teachings. But let me continue.
Even what he's reading from is a hypothesis. It's not. We can't say that there's evidence for that. So we can't say he's just, that's a correlation he's using. All I was trying to say, in the realm of belief, you can't say he's wrong. In the realm of science, we can say he's wrong because we don't even have evidence for what he's saying.
I couldn't hardly follow none of it. I'm sorry, I can't follow it.
Right. So the incompetent people over there, this is why I said about if you're the smartest person in the room, you got to get the fuck out of the room, is because the incompetent people with low level of comprehension says they don't understand what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm taking shots at Sheffrin and Corey, and I love both of them. But they don't even understand what I said. And I said it multiple times. If you're the smartest person in the room, Fitz, get the hell out of the room. Don't sit there and listen to this. He's arguing against the Bantu teachings. They never made a scientific claim. Ever. Ever. So again, here it is. Ankh versus Ankh. The Diaries of a Pseudo Killer. Watch him dagger himself. Because I'm going to take you back. I got both the videos up. And we're going to have some fun with you. Since you want to key.
He was asking from a book.
Yeah, that's a hypothesis. That's a scientist.
What is the hypothesis on how? What hypothesis is he talking about?
Whose book is it from? I don't know whose book it was from. The Neil deGrasse, wasn't it?
No.
Okay.
Oh, Neil ain't putting on hype. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
See, here's the issue with the pseudo killers. They don't even understand what's going on. They just in the moment. They're just in the moment. They're all good-hearted brothers and sister, CK. But they're just in the moment. They have no understanding. Ankh doesn't really want to understand anything because he ain't paying attention. This is what I'm going to give you. There's a tale of two Ankhs. There's Ankh versus Ankh. We finna get into the other Ankh in just a second. Because clearly, I get into the teachings of the Bantu. I even gave the source. And yet and still, they have no idea who the hell the source is or where it's coming from. They never made a scientific claim. You still don't get it, Venice. I'm sorry, I can't help slow people.
Projection. So in their worldview, right? How they saw the universe as we see and know. It's clearly telling you, for the Bantu people, the Congo in particular, the universe as we see and know it is the result of primitive event that occurred in and around it, well known as.
When I say this, and I just read this, what part of this did you have a problem with? For the Bantu people, the Congo in particular, the universe as we see and know it, them, the Bantu people of the Congo, as they see the world and know it, it is the result of a primitive event that occurred around it, in and around it. So what is the scientific explanation? Then you can go and deal with what you want to deal with. Was that done? No. I bet you I bet you another 1,000. They never pull up what science says.
It goes on to say, look who.
I ain't sending you. You ain't send me no link. Don't ask for no link.
Which is God cooked dough.
I was in the chat. I came in the chat saying something when y'all was trying to do your little replay. Did you send me a link? No, you didn't. Did Sheffrin know I was in the chat? Yeah, they all knew. You knew I was too. So don't ask me for no link.
I.e. the magnetic matters, the Big Bang. That is what the says.
He jumped out the window with that. Like, ain't nobody wrote that. Who wrote that in what book?
He said nobody wrote that. And in what book? They still don't know what the hell I'm reading. You incompetent, but you claim to be pseudo killers. I done gave the source before. Corey was in the chat when I showed it on the show that I showed it on. He was there the whole time rocking on the show. Oh, you don't believe me? Since nobody knows what I'm reading, right? Now you're on full display. You're on full display because you're disingenuous, every last one of y'all. Every last one of y'all. Boy. The first fire video. Let me mute this out. Here go the chat. All of y'all can see the chat. Let me get into past this. All right, I got this up. All right, so look, the source is on the screen. What is this doing on the screen? This is the source. I'm reading from it. Okay, let me continue to go a little bit more into it real quick. Oh, let me get into it a little bit more real quick. Let's see if Sheffrin. Oh, so Sheffrin is here. Sheffrin is here. There's Sheffrin. Everybody see Sheffrin? If you can't see Sheffrin and you're on your cell phone, please adjust your quality in the video. Hit the 3 dots on your screen, go to advanced settings and change it to 720p. Now you're going to see clear as day Sheffrin Elon to L. I seen Big Bang. That's what he says. This is what he says. I got the source on the screen. I'm clearly explaining it, and Sheffrin is in the chat. But wait, Corey shows up too. Don't get it confused. Corey shows up too. Who is this? Corey, the anti-theist. Okay, Sean, my type of party. Corey, the anti-atheist. Hakeem. Corey, the anti-atheist. That's my guy. He's here. But he don't know what the hell he don't know what I'm talking about, and he don't know what says what. But he's in the chat. Rastaman is in the chat. This is where I'm calling the disingenuous ignorance. Come on now. But y'all don't know what I'm talking about. So if you gon' critique something, know how to do it. Don't none of y'all really know how to do this. Because ain't none of y'all put a single source up and provide the scientific explanation for the Big Bang or how the earth came to be. Not one. But in this show, Ankh, I clearly gave the scientific explanation. This is what these astrophysicists was explaining, how things came to be. The scientific part, you know, the part you thought that I was just dismissing. Oh, okay. Oh, let's get back to this Ankh versus Ankh.
Like, what? There's no way he's reading that out of the book.
No way that I read just what I said out of a book, yet I had the source up on the show that I did it on, and he was in the chat, and Sheffrin was in the chat, but Sheffrin says he don't know. You see the lies? Do you see the disingenuous in this is what I mean. Y'all ain't got no integrity. How could you be a pseudo killer and talk about you a science enthusiast, but yet you don't even have scientific integrity? Fuck out of here.
The Bantu said I.e. magnetic, Bantu said I.e. Big Bang.
We don't even know. I'm a milk for them, like I could. Corey,
They didn't say that. I don't care who it was.
He said the Bantu didn't say that. For the Bantu people, the Congo in particular, the universe as we see and know it, it is the result of the primitive event that occurred in and around it, well known as Luku, Luwamba, and Zambi, God cooked dough, i.e. the magmatic matters, the Big Bang. But the Bantu didn't say that. It is the result of the expanding fire process that leaves behind through a cooling process, satellites and planets. It is the process of the cosmic expanding fires. They didn't say that. The Bantu didn't say that. He ain't read that from that. They didn't say that. But you was in the chat. This is the show that it was on, the first fire in the universe, the Big Bang, Kikongo style. You're in there, Corey, but you didn't see that. So all of y'all are just lying now.
He lied on the Bantu. He lied on
We don't even know what caused the Big Bang. We don't know. We know seconds after the Big Bang. That's what
right. He's talking about something before. He's saying something primitive happened before. Two things happened primitive. I swear.
I'm trying to make sense out of nonsense, yo.
It's nonsense. See, this is the show from today. This was streamed 4 hours ago. It's nonsense. But the two people that's talking the loudest, Sheffrin and Corey, you ninjas was in the chat. On the show, when the source was put up, Sheffrin, you was there. But you don't know what I'm talking about. And you didn't even want to correct Corey and say, well, Corey, he actually did put the source up on the show. So he was actually reading the source. But see, Unc, you, and I know you still listening. You, Unc, you sat there and you let them continue to project their ignorance on the conversation today. You did. You didn't stop Corey. You didn't stop Sheffrin. You didn't stop none of them. You didn't sit there and say the only person that said something was Fitz, and he was saying he's actually reading that from somewhere. And you never stopped them or corrected them. This is Ankh versus Ankh. Diaries of a Pseudo Killer.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
The Big Bang has nothing to do with the creation of the Earth. That's
No, it don't have any. Yeah, because he keeps saying like, oh, I asked you how the Earth was made, and then like it's like, hold on, is you trying to figure out how the universe was made or how the Earth was made?
So that's the thing, because we figured out, man. We got it going. Hold on, we got the grease cooking right now.
Hold on. They're still using the wrong terminologies. When the Earth wasn't made, the universe wasn't made.
Yeah, no,
Like the word made.
Like he jumping.
Nearly 4 billion years after.
No, Fitch, you missed what I said. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Say what you said. Right, the universe wasn't made.
Yeah, the made part, we'll never get to the proper understanding if we keep using words that go back to religious concepts.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely. Chef, I agree. You know, the universe came into being.
Right.
You know, like
planets form. Planets form.
And you still hadn't corrected none of them. You laughed at it. You let them say what they said. And these fools, these Bammers, was on the show called The First Fire in the chat and was paying attention to it. And even seen me put up the source. But yet and still, they act like they ain't even seen none of that, or they wasn't even a part or in the chat when this was going on initially. Where is the integrity, Unc West? Where is that at? Where? How could you do a show like this and then you don't correct none of it? So you ain't about correction. You're about trying to prove yourself right. So let's see how right you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Universe came into being by the name Killa. All right, come on, man, let's go. Hold on. Watch this. All right.
Satellites and planets. It is the process of the cosmic expanding fires. According to the Congo teachings, our planet Earth was the starting point of this fire. In our solar system.
Pause.
Yeah. Solar system started from the planet.
Right, that's crazy.
Once again, this is how disingenuous you are. All y'all on this show, you in the chat, Sheffrin, you in the chat. It's crazy to you, right? It's crazy to you, right? But here it is. You say at the 11:35, I seen Big Bang. I seen Big Bang. The source is in front of you. The same source that I've read over and over and over till I know I can summarize it and give you full context of what Fukuyama is saying. But you pseudo killers. Nah, you disingenuous Negroes did barbershop talk.
Point. Come on, y'all loud. Let's go back one more second. Right there.
Yeah, I gotta hear that because I missed it.
All right, everybody
got mute out, yo.
Somebody got a mute. Somebody got something going on in the background. I can't really hear.
I heard it clear though. Go ahead, play that again.
All right.
How they saw the universe as we see and know. It's clearly telling you, for the Bantu people, the Congo in particular, the universe as we see and know it is the result of primitive event that occurred in and around it, well known as, it goes on to say, Luku, Luwalamba, and Zambi, which is God cooked dough, i.e. the magnetic matters, the Big Bang. That is what the source says. It is the result of an expanding fire process that leaves behind through a cooling process satellites and planets. It is the process of the cosmic expanding fires. According to the Congo teachings, our planet Earth was the starting point of this fire. In our solar system, On the ground of this old Bantu teaching, the universe can be mapped in 3 main layers or zones, depending on if it is in the green, gray, or red state. Green or breathing planet. Green or breathing planets are living planets because they have completed the 4 great formation stages of the Congo cosmogram known as the Killa de Congo.
Okay. So we can clearly see that when we talk about a green planet, like it goes through stages, and that's just not correct at all. Right?
Well, he talking about the expanding. First of all, he talking about some expanding fire in the universe. Like,
see, you're mixing everything up at this point. Now, I really needed you to continue your conversation before Corey had chimed in. Because remember, in this video, I asked you a series of questions. You see your face? In this video, I asked you, was the earth cool? Did go through a cooling process? Was there a hot process? I asked you all of these questions, and you was like, no, it did do a cooling process. You said all of these things. You was avoiding my questions. This is Ankh here versus Ankh here. So let's go.
there's no fire. Ain't no such thing as fire in the universe. I don't know. Like, what is it?
Stop asking for a link you didn't want to send me on your show.
That is a theory, though. You can have that theory.
No, it's not a theory, though. It's not even a hypothesis. It's not even a hypothesis. You can't do that. It's not even a hypothesis.
These dudes ain't even talking about defeating science at all. They ain't even talking about science. They're talking about their teachings of the Bantu. This how slow you are. Incompetent even. You still talking about something you have no idea. Why are y'all talking so much? Where is the example? Where is the demonstration? You don't demonstrate what the Big Bang says in none of this video, bro. None. Y'all talked like you in a barbershop. Like little girls playing hopscotch. With no demonstration done whatsoever. You projected things. And you want a link. Where was the link at when I was in your chat?
Go ahead, though.
It's a scientific one. It's a belief. It's a belief.
Okay, right. We that's right.
Correlated. But the thing is, like, he's exactly doing what Pseudo. He's exactly doing the definition of Pseudo.
See, he doesn't know what Pseudo is. So now I'm gonna have to take them to Kofi's video and Ben's article to show them what the hell Pseudo means, because they don't know what it is at all. Because nothing in this is projecting to do science. They clearly have stated the ground of this old Bantu teaching. For the Bantu people, the Congo in particular, these are teachings. This isn't claiming science.
He's trying to correlate that with actual science, Fitz. That's what he's doing. Like,
Yeah, when he does that.
Oh, shout out to Rastaman, who played the whole part as if he wasn't in this video either. In the first fire video, we have Rastaman showing up now. Shout out to Rastaman in the chat. You know, all of them act like this wasn't a video, like they wasn't here on December 11, 2021. Here it is 2 weeks later, and we got these dudes claiming to continue to play me over and over. Not the argument where Ben beat up Ankh over religion, but me over and over. And then we never get any definition. Let's go.
that's textbook Pseudo right there, bro.
Yeah, I get it, Corey.
I ain't you, Ankh. I ain't got to strap up. Why I got to go do something I'm already prepared to do? See, that's the difference between you old heads and you dudes on the pseudo killers. See, you forgot your teachings, Ankh. Let me talk to you a little bit since I got your undivided attention. Are you listening? Are you listening, my brother? Since you want to have a kiki moment, we finna have a kiki moment. You know, like little girls do. We finna have one of those moments. You told me in 2017, 2016, 2015 to be trained to go, to have proper research methodology, to have command of your subject matter, to always be prepared. This is what you taught me, Ankh, to always be prepared. But you ain't even prepared. You're telling me to strap up. You did no demonstration. You never corrected anything here. You projected your position onto something, and we never got any demonstration. And no one claimed for this to be scientific. Because in the first fire, I clearly talked about how the Bantu people taught things, and then I came behind it. And so you're going to ignore all the scientists and the astrophysicists that came behind the Bantu people and was so excitingly explaining how things came to be. You ignored that. In this video right here, since you said you watched my video, you said you watched my video. You said you watched this video right here with Sheffrin and Corey in it and Rastaman. Huh? You see me reading that article. Corey is still in here. Corey is still in here. He ain't got no issues. He's still in here. He ain't arguing nothing. Then he telling me where I can go get the little video that they was chopping it up. He said, you can go get the little video off YouTube. So he has no problem with what the scientists are explaining. But he is still in the chat when I got the Bantu people up there on. He's still in it. Look, no. Look, see, this is daggers. See, not daggers. I'm sorry. These are spears. Spears are flying and pseudos are crying. Because when we throw spears, here's the source. Look at it. It's on the screen. When Corey said, no, the Congo didn't say that. He's in the chat, Ankh. He's in the chat. And he's commenting. Him and Rasta and Sheffrin. But they said that the Bantu didn't say that. That I'm crazy. I'm making it up. That's Pseudo. He said all of that. All of that. You see how much of a liar the people you are around? Are you see how ignorant y'all have become or succumbed to? Because I just killed you. They saying I'm making stuff up, but it's right here on the screen. They said the Congo didn't say that, but it's right here on the screen. The source is on the screen, and Corey is in the chat. Sheffrin is in the chat. Rastaman is in the chat. But they sit right here and said, no, the Congo didn't say that. He making that up. No, he being pseudo. He being pseudo. He's saying all of that. All of that. No, you're being pseudo. The source is right here. I clearly put the Congo on the screen. I clearly let the astrophysics explain things to people and how things came to be, dealing with matter and energy and the likings, and even read a couple of sources. I did that. I showed the Bantu teachings and I showed what the scientists are saying. Your boys is in the chat. And on this show today, they said what they said about me. And they was damn present.
When he's doing that, we can say that. But when he would step into his realm and say it's not true,
I don't know what you're talking about, man. Stop it. We already proved that that's not how it works in science.
You know, that's science, though. I keep saying to you guys are so hard-headed. You know what I'm saying.
Fix. Is he making a scientific claim? Yes or no? He referring to crows. He's referring to.
See, listen. The source that I read, right, that I was reading from, I put it on the screen. They was in the show when I did it. When I continued to read from Neil deGrasse Tyson and Krauss, That was coming out of African Times, which I stated in the this. All right, Ben is correct. They have selective listening. They were not paying attention because I clearly went from the Congo Bantu teachings of the Congo to what the scientists were saying. So I went to African Times, chapter 1, where they clearly talk about the universe and how things came to be. And I said that, but yet your yes man, Cedric, is saying that he's making a scientific claim. You're absolutely wrong, Cedric, because the Bantu people, I put that source on the screen. Then I came back and I started reading from African Times, chapter 1, page 91 of African Times. If you got the first edition of that book, it would be page 91, and they talk about how things came to be. And the sources in there were from astrophysics and astrophysical journals. See, this is where you're disingenuous. So, Unc, when you want to do a playback, my boy, you got to know what you're dealing with. I source up. I don't talk without a source. And I stand on that because you know why? I learned how to scrutinize my sources and how to find substantial sources that can stand scrutiny and people can deal with. I didn't go find a Billy Joe Nick or give my opinion. I went and got the experts. Neil deGrasse Tyson, Krauss, all of them people that y'all claim to listen to and watch their videos over and over. But here, yet and still, and I know you still in the chat, you kept saying what you were saying. And Sheffrin, you a goddamn liar. Still, my boy, but you a goddamn liar. And I know you just tuned in because you was in on this episode when I did it and you was coming in the chat and even when I put the source up. But yet in your Merry Christmas video, you going to sit here and lie and say, I don't know where he reading that from. He making that up. I don't even know none of that. You and Corey asses was in the chat. Look at you. Look at you. Look at you. Corey, the anti-theist, with the same source on the screen that I was reading from. Sheffrin L. Peace, Kofi. You in the chat. You goddamn liars. Let's eat.
On Sean's claim, I would say yes, Cedric. He is making that's the point he's trying to make it.
So now there is no belief aspect to this that you can bring into the equation anymore. Once we're talking about the cosmos, once you make a claim about the cosmos, we can test your belief based on it being a scientific reality.
Cedric don't even know how to do that. I'm just finna keep it a buck with everybody. I'm to the point where I'm ready to expose everybody. He don't even know how to test that. Ask him how to do it. Ask him how to do it. How do they test? How do they test these things? Ask him to explain it. I bet you he don't test it right. I bet you he don't say it right here. How many people want to do that? I bet you he don't say it right here. Oh, hold on. If you don't know what happened, Sheffrin, I can go back to this point where you were talking in the video. You and Unc, you were talking in the video and you were saying things in the video while Unc was playing this video. It's like, I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know what he's talking about. It ain't making no sense to me. But you right here in the chat, bro, with the source on the screen where I'm reading from, and you ain't saying none of that. It ain't making no sense to you shit. None of that. You or Corey. But, oh, it don't make no sense. Oh, he being pseudo. Oh, he ain't explaining nothing. Oh, this, that, and the third. You clearly are confused now. So now your memory's selective. You don't remember this, huh? But I do. See, I know how to hit y'all. I know your style. You don't go as far as I go. You won't out-research me. You won't out-read me. And you won't write shit. But you sit here on this video and key. with me in the chat, and y'all never send me the link, but Unc want the link. So you gotta take it like you gotta take it how I said in your chat and listen to y'all talk y'all ish. I'm gonna talk mine too. But I'm gonna do it a little bit better than you because I have all the information right here where you tried to avoid the questions that I asked, and then I'm getting to the point to where you go against yourself right here and begin to answer the questions that I asked in this video, Unc.
You said he could come back with. All right, said you're right. Is that how this works? No, yeah, you're right. You're right. Said you are right. All I'm saying to you, he could come back to you now and say, in his realm, in the belief realm, could you say that it's not right? Would you say, could you dismiss it?
No, it's not right. I wouldn't even a claim about reality. There is no belief you could talk about. I can judge.
Now, this is how far out Unc's yes man is, Cedric. This is how far you out, right? You don't even understand what actually transpired, bro. I never made a claim. When I read from Krauss and Neil deGrasse Tyson, I clearly was kicking the scientific part of that. When I read from Fukuyao, I was giving you the Bantu teachings, which never made a claim. This is just their teachings. They never claimed anything. But you said you can test it. So get your expert ass up on the next Pseudo Killa show and teach it, test it, demonstrate it live. Let's go.
Jimmy said, I'll ask you one question. In his realm, forget science.
I can tell him he's wrong.
How you gonna tell me I'm wrong? So watch this. He said he gonna tell me I'm wrong, right? So let me give this to y'all real quick. So in The Origins, 14 billion years of cosmic evolution, written by Neil deGrasse Tyson and Donald Goldsmith, they say Neil and Lawrence Krauss, in Lawrence Krauss' book 2013, A Universe from Nothing, they say this in this book, right? I'm gonna give you two. I'm gonna give you both of them. From the universe came our galaxy and then our solar system. Within this solar system, there formed a sun, 9 planets, moons, astrocomets, with all being electromagnetically held together by precisely balanced gravitational forces of attraction and repulsion. This system was and is constantly in motion, moving at colossal speeds. All eventually died, were vacuumed up by black holes, crushed, synthesized, re-energized, recycled, and sprayed out of black dark matter, only to emerge again in higher forms of new galaxies, solar systems, and planets. That is directly from Cosmology, the Science of the Universe, written by Edward Harrison in 2000, published by the Cambridge University Press. Now let me get to Neil deGrasse Tyson and Krauss. Billions of stars, the organizing bodies of the solar system, are suns with their own rings of planets revolving on their axis and turning with their entire galaxy as it turns on its own axis. Each star a blazing, fiery solar hurricane. Its entire surface is in the state of bubbling, erupting, burning hot agitation. How the hell do you get bubbling, erupting, and burning? Hot agitation and colossal fiery heat waves passing over the turbulent stars' burning hot surfaces. Galactic fire streams shoot out as gigantic streams of internal heat, pulsating, throbbing, illuminating, and pouring into space in the form of radiation, giving life to planets and their moons. Gravity connects the particles, holding them together like clinging vines in stormy weather, allowing them to interact, grow, and develop. That is Neil deGrasse Tyson, Donald Goldsmith, and Lawrence M. Krauss in 2 books, Origins, 14 Billion Years of Cosmic Evolution, and The Universe from Nothing, written by those authors. That is what they say. That is their source. That is what they say, and that is their source. So I'm using the experts. Right there, that is what they say. That is the sources that I just gave you. But when I go to Fukiao, and when I put that up on the screen, you're in a shitstorm when he says, according to the Congo teachings, our planet Earth was the starting point of this fire in our solar system. On the ground of this old Bantu teaching, the universe can be mapped in 3 main layers or zones, depending on if it's in a green, gray, or red state. But I'm going to go back, right, where it says it is the result of an expanding fire process that leaves behind through a cooling process, satellites and planets. So when it says it is the result of an expanding fire process that leaves behind through a cooling process, satellites and planets, it is the process of the cosmic expanding fires. But if I go back and read what the experts, what the astrophysicists are explaining, right? They're explaining an event dealing with the cosmos, the universe, and how it came to be. That what I just read was saying that. But yet and still, we're acting like, all right, we're acting like they're making claims, bro. It's just their teachings. But let's go, Ankh, because you ain't debated yourself yet, and we still got to get to Ankh versus Ankh.
In his belief.
Fitz, we not accepting none of that shit.
I can tell him it's wrong in his belief because he's making a claim about reality.
All right, Sheffrin, and Ankh. I'm gonna say this one more time. I don't get on YouTube and talk. I'm gonna say it again. I don't click a live button and just start talking. Every time I go live, I have sources. Every time I go live, I don't make claims. I have sources. What does the source say? Does this source agree with that source? Can we go in and deal with what they got right and then deal with what they didn't get right? Can we deal with all of that? That was not done on this episode. There's nothing that you said, Ankh, you said everything that I read was wrong. You said that. You said it in this video. You said it again on this show. They got everything wrong. That's what you said. But when we was talking last night, when the show ended, you weren't saying none of this shit you saying right now. So I'm going to go back to how your boys is all up in this show and then come over on Christmas Merry Atheist Christmas and act like they was never here. This is the disingenuous in the intellectual galactic sphere of the pseudo killers.
For a minute. Come on, man. Everybody freeze for a minute. Fritz, you're making this way too difficult, Fritz. Yeah, Fritz. Yeah, you is Fritz. Because Fritz.
And you want to talk about what Pseudo Merry Atheist Christmas. Well, Pseudo is if I go back and show you how Sheffrin spelled Pseudo, the Pseudo killers.
Yo, Africa got you for a minute. Yo, we all got. It got you. Our love for Africa, yo, sucks us in.
I've always been got. You know, I've always been got by Africa. No matter if I have my stances.
Yeah, me too. I know, but guess what, Fritz?
That's what that is.
That's what Fritz. Yeah, but we don't gotta defend Africa on something that they weren't even trying to do. They wasn't trying to do what modern science was trying to do, yo.
Exactly.
Simply trying to merge their world and understand it best they could, yo.
We saying the Masi is trying to postulate that they would saying the same thing that modern science is saying. And Fitz, you keep jumping in like they got a leg to stand on.
You heard it, right? Sheffrin is saying that the Masi is saying, you never heard what the Masi said, Chef. Apparently, you was here this whole entire time and you act like you was never in the building. You and Corey. Because when this clearly was playing, you act like you didn't understand what was going on there. So now I'm all the way confused, Chef. Because now I have to question your integrity as a man. Now I'm dealing with your manhood. Because you was in that show, yet you come on another show and then act like you didn't know what was saying, and then you come out and you say that the Masi is saying that this, and this. No, if you listen to the Masi, we show you, and we will continue to show you how Africans talk about these things which you love so much. The cosmos, how they saw the world, their worldview. We ain't saying that they said no more, no less. We didn't say they used instruments to measure. We didn't say none of that. We said I specifically read from the source. These are the Bantu teachings of the Congo. Ben came out and he said, these are the teachings of the Igbo. These are the teachings of the Yoruba. These are the teachings of Togo. These are the teachings of the Remech. No one came out and said what you just said, Sheffrin. So how you come to that conclusion? But you never said shit on this show. You never said nothing on this show. Absolutely nothing. The original show, you and your boy Corey was deep in this thing. 52 minutes in, and I guarantee you, if I go longer, you still in there. I still got the source on the screen. The source is still on the screen, and I'm reading it. And Sheffrin and Corey is still here. And Rasta still here. But they said on this Merry Atheist Christmas, the Congo never said that. They didn't believe it. You said all kind of things. So now your integrity is in question, my guy. Rightfully so, and I still love you. But we having a kiki moment. And I'm giving you a little straightening. Just a little straightening. But I don't even want to make it about all of y'all. This is about Ankh.
Like we should look at it. Maybe if you gotta let it go.
In the scientific realm. I said I never said in the scientific
No,
realm.
the Big Bang and planets form, and then what realm is that in?
That's okay. You could say science. You could say that.
As soon as you say planet, Fritz, say planet.
I'm done.
But then,
hey, Fritz, I just want you to know, Fritz, as soon as you say water, Fritz, as soon as you say car, Fritz, we know what you're talking about, Fritz. Like, don't say planet around me and then act like the planet came with some cloud of blood.
Okay.
And you didn't have this energy last night, Unc. Where was this at, Unc? You had to sleep on it, then call me in the morning and try to smooth it over before you know you was gonna do the rewind and then talk your shit. And then Sheffrin act like the link was in the chat when I was commenting. The link wasn't in the chat.
Hey, can I say this to you
We
guys?
know what the planet is now, bro.
You can't dismiss that you're in their realm. Yes, as you just said.
What realm was that we go, Fritz?
Fuck it, yo. Play the video, yo.
Yo, man.
Look how much time like I said, they spent an hour on something that I read in 2 minutes because their level of comprehension is low, very low, incompetent even. How do you claim to be pseudo killers and you don't read or comprehend very well?
Let me keep going.
I'm out of it tonight. Let's say
So you
that.
think the planet is the center of the Milky Way galaxy? Yo, it's not.
See again. They never say any of that. According to the Congo teachings, our planet Earth was the starting point of this fire. In our solar system, on the ground of this old Bantu teaching, the universe can be mapped into 3 main layers of zones. whether they get this right or part of it right or some of it wrong, this is according to their teachings. They are not making claims. They ain't saying this is the science. Because in this show, and I hate to keep doing this, but in this show, did I not have the astrophysics? Did I not have the popular people? Did I not have your boy Corey in there? Yeah, this is my guy right here. This is my type of party. Corey over there. This is my type of party. When I got these people over here explaining how things come to be, oh, this is my type of party. Look at him. Look, he in the chat. He right, Sheffrin in there too. Peace, Kofi. What's up, Kofi? Both of them. They over there. Never made no claims. This is where it comes down to. This is why when you go on the pseudo killers, you can entice people that don't watch the Masi because they don't like the information, because y'all make it where they can't come to the Masi and like the information. Most of the people over there.
I don't agree with that. That's from my scientific perspective.
In their realm.
How was that, yo? All time I got a realm. Y'all got a realm, yo, and I can play professional football right now, bro. I believe it. Here we go.
Oh, my bad again. My bad, CK. My bad. I did say this earlier, CK. I did. I swear to you, I did earlier. I didn't say now I'm just dealing with the voices. I left you ain't in it. You ain't in it. I don't care anything about the Bible, bro. The Bible believes like none of the things, like the Big Bang never happened. Like there was no two things that did something, that someone created all of this. The Bantu are telling you that something natural occurred. They said this in their teachings. When you go on and it's explaining the green, it says the expanding creative fire energy that departed from the first event or the Big Bang was not an experimental explosion from a laboratory, say the Bantu Congo. It was a natural imperative order to bring a transformation process into being throughout the universe and into all its planets until their full maturity, i.e. be able to breathe and give and carry life.
Keyword to these planets is greenness, the vitality, giving nature. Green planets, like our own planet Earth, can be thought of as the oldest planets to the solar system. The Earth, for example, can be seen for the...
That's a statement. So our planet is one of the planets like ours are the oldest planets in the universe. That's not true.
He said in our solar system.
It's not true.
But he said in our solar system. Not
so
in
Earth
our
is
universe.
the oldest planet. Hold on. Earth is the oldest planet in the solar system.
He said one of them. He said one of them. But
what solar system?
Go in our solar system. You know what our solar system is?
So you telling me one of them. So which one?
I don't
which one? What are we saying here? Are we saying that there's a process where there's I can't do it. I can't do it.
In this realm, he feel like
can't do it, yo. Can I get some help here, yo?
Go ahead, play the video, but he didn't say our planet is one of the oldest planets in the universe. He said our planet is one of the oldest planets in our solar system.
Is the oldest planet.
Right, like I'm saying.
He didn't say the oldest. Fuck it.
All right, hold on.
And right here was when Sheffrin's integrity kicks back in. His integrity kicks back in. His integrity kicks back in because he says he never said that, Ankh. Ankh said that I said something that I didn't say. Cedric did what? What did you do, Cedric? Yes, man, Ankh. As you always do. So now you on the rope with him. So Ankh telling me to strap up. You better strap up because I already been ready. because I ain't the one making claims out there. You are insinuating that I am making claims, and then you're not listening to what's being said, and your own pseudo killer partner is telling you that that ain't what Sean said.
Universe can be mapped in 3 main layers or zones, depending on if it is in the green, gray, or red state. Green or breathing planet. Green or breathing planets are living planets because they have completed the 4 great.
Earth is not a living. Planets aren't living. Planets.
See, this again shows, and I hate to do this to you, Ankh, but this again shows your level of ignorance here. Because where is water, air, trees, beings living in our universe? What other planet is like planet Earth, where people are living, breathing, walking around, driving cars, building things, creating new technologies every day, and advancing science, and coming up with all these different things to help advance society, the people as a whole? What other planet in our universe is like the Earth, where there's life? What other planet? What other planet in our universe has life? You in the chat and you listening. So what other planet in our universe is developing like we are, Ankh, here on Earth as we know it? We got boats, we got planes, we got cars, we got trains, we got horses, we got all types of animals. We're making all kind of evolution is transpiring. There's viruses that are plaguing the earth. We're inhabiting new zones, parts of the earth we never inhabited before. So what other planet in our universe is in a pretty much what the Bantu Congo are trying to define as a green state where life can exist? Because that's basically all they're saying, Ankh. That in our universe, the earth is unique. It's the only place where life exists. It's the only place where full maturity has transpired. These other places haven't matured like the earth in our universe. What's wrong with that saying? Right, Ramon. Of course, we'll find out later, but right now, from where we sit, we don't know the answer to that, right? But what we do have the answers for is we know that other people just ain't living. We just ain't George Jetson. We ain't getting in a rocket and flying to another planet to go live. Like, my nigga, I'm finna go move to Mars tomorrow. I'm packing up the kids and everybody, man. I just paid my $250,000 per person to fly to the edge of the universe, and then they're gonna carry me over there to Mars, and then I already got my plot picked out. Who's doing that? Rasta, listen. Do you know of any other planet that has everything that we have right now in our universe? Do you or do you not? Is there life on other planets as we know it to be, as we see it from our worldview?
House life. The planet itself, a rock, it's not considered life.
I agree with Sean on that point, though.
So it's like, wait, rock is life? Is that what we're doing now?
We got a living planet, yo.
Actually, you might be surprised to know that Mercury,
So before Cedric says anything, I'm going to read from you Joseph Silk, The Big Bang, Revised and Updated Edition, William H. Freeman Company, page 1989, page 2 through 460, for comprehensive documentation of the process of the birth and development of the cosmological solar over the past 20 billion years. And then I'm going to read from you once again, Origins, 14 billion years of cosmic evolution, from Neil deGrasse Tyson and Donald Goldsmith, and also, who else? Lawrence M. Krauss, A Universe from Nothing. It says right here, clear as day, right? All have let me start off from the universe time. No, let me get into it. Universes, galaxies, solar systems, stars, planets, all had to live and die so the earth might fit itself and make itself suitable for life. I'm going to say it again. Universities, galaxies, solar systems, stars, and planets all had to live and die so that earth might fit itself and make itself suitable for life. By a living thing's very birth, its death is assured. From the moment of birth, all things grow, develop, gain strength, reach maturity, but then grow old, run their natural course, reach their limits, decay, decompose, become moribund, stumble, fall, and finally cease to exist, thus giving way to higher. In this process, the higher, more complex, yet nascent grow in the womb of the old, extract nourishment, duplicate, and sublate from the nucleus of heredity, material and essential, supersede its ancestor to be. This relative temporal transitory quality of life is universally evident in everything from the smallest microorganism to the largest without destruction. As all things arise, they all must fall. This is the first, single, most absolutely immutable law in the universe. Everything that is born dies. All that exists deserves to perish. There is nothing eternal in the universe, galaxies, solar systems, stars, planets, terrestrial life, human life, societies, economic systems, empires, religion, and even class rule. Earth went through 1 billion years of growth and development stages to be able to endure organic life. Embryonic atmospheric formation paved the way for the release of oxygen and the development of life support systems for planets approximately 4.1 billion years ago. Free oxygen began to accumulate about 3.8 billion years ago. The productive necessary to form the oceans and atmosphere, including thermosphere, stratosphere, exosphere, and troposphere, after billion years of development, the foundation for simple organic life was laid. See Neil deGrasse and Donald Goldsmith's Origins, 14 billion years of cosmic evolution. As the momentum of the development accelerated every stage of Earth's maturation, conditions for a variety of life flowered. Pre-cellular activity of the astrophysical, geological, and chemical type transformed the cellular organizations in which a well-defined nucleus carried the genetic material for further biological evolution. After the matter had risen from the atomic level to the higher molecular level, there followed a process of complications of chemical substances that lasted for billions of years, which allowed for the emergence of cellular and tissue formations. The gradual complications of molecules of carbon compounds lead to the formation of organic compounds. Pre-cellular activity to cellular activity, multicellular forms lead to changes in invertebrates that gave way to the development of vertebrates, which ultimately led to the development of primates. Inorganic life developed into organic life, and then complex organic life, creating conditions for hominid formations. Step by step, increasing complex organic compounds were formed, and finally came life at the biological level. Life was a law-governed outcome of the development of all chemical and geological processes on the Earth's surfaces, in its oceans and atmosphere. The latter is the sum of total of massive stellar systems living and dying, coming into being and being not being, moving at colossal velocities throughout space within a vast cosmic ocean called a universe. A universe so vast, so all-encompassing, so mindful, so such magnificent book of life, all living that no energy, no answer, nothing is ever lost, only transformed. The range of present factual knowledge and matter of antimatter extends from within the microscopic universe. 10 to 17 centimeters, the core of the nucleon subquantum mechanics fields, to outside the Hubble telescope's universe, 1,021 centimeters, over 30 billion light years away. Black dark matter, black dark energy, and black holes make up 93% of the known universe. The rest are stars and their systems. In the science, this means the flexible in the study of matter and antimatter, visible and invisible. See Paul Press, Dark Energy Fills the Cosmos, U.S. Department of Energy, Berkeley Lab, on August 11, 2016. Also see Sidney Vandenberg, The Early History of Dark Matter, Publications of Astronomy Society of Pacific. This is what the science is explaining. But the teachings of the Bantu is not saying any of this. So for you to sit there and do that disingenuously, and then, Sheffrin's integrity comes back at this point, and then he says, well, I agree with Sean on that point. But that's not, Sheffrin, that's not even me saying it, bro. I'm not making that argument. That what you just agreed upon was what Fukuyao said in his book that we're discussing. This is the Bantu teachings. So you agree with the old Bantu teachings on that point. Okay.
That there is no oldest or youngest planet. Mercury is exact same age as all the rest of the planets in the solar system. The solar system is approximately 4.6 billion years old. Like, let's end all the nonsense now, please, man. Can we just end the nonsense? Can we just end the nonsense? Can we just stop? Like, we the pseudo killers. Let me just stop them.
You the pseudo killers. But how did you get this so wrong, Cedric? There was no claim ever made by me. See, you don't listen. Y'all hard-headed. I'm gonna say this one more time. I've never argued any point without a source. See how I cross-reference my source. I just don't throw up a source. I have other sources, right? I wasn't even talking about science. I was talking about the Congo teaching, the Bantu Congo's teachings. And then I got into what the science is saying. You see how I just did that? I went to what the science was saying, right? When it was talking about fiery things and all of those things that I asked Ankh that he never wanted to say anything about. But as we continue.
All right, let's agree. Let's just move on, innit?
No, that's the point. If Cedric pulled the source and that all of the planets are the same age, then I can accept that. We don't even have to. All right, Sean, you wrong right there.
all the planets in this universe are of the same age, is what Cedric's source says. Have y'all seen Cedric's source? Have y'all read Cedric's source? Did Sean say that all the planets are that the Earth was the oldest planet? No, that is not what the source says. The source says green planets like our own planet Earth can be thought of as the oldest planets, and it's pluralized, oldest planets to the solar system. So how could I be wrong when it says green planets? Like, see, that's where, Sheffrin, you shouldn't have got off the point. You shouldn't have got off the point, Sheffrin, because it is talking about a planet that has life on it, that has all the things that you can go outside and do. It says planets like our own. Green planets, like our own planet Earth, can be thought of as the oldest planets to the solar system. It can be thought of as. It never said that it is the oldest. Then it goes on to say, the Earth, for example, can be seen for the Bantu people. Can be seen for the Bantu people. Not for me, not for you, Sheffrin, not for Ankh, not for nobody. But for the Bantu people, it can be seen as the oldest planet of the solar system. Look, if you go back and we're breaking down those two things, right, CK, right, CK, where are other planets like Earth? That's what I'm saying. This is uniquely distinguishing that Earth is unique. Green planets like our own planet Earth can be thought of as the oldest planets to the solar system. The Earth, for example, can be seen for the Bantu people as the oldest planet of the solar system. Green planets occupy the center of systems in our expanding universe. See, they don't listen. Green planets occupy the center of systems in our expanding universe. It's not claiming things. Their teachings are not claiming things. The projection coming from this show is horrendous.
Or the Africans are wrong right there. Go ahead,
in their realm and in their belief, they are right. Now we in the realm of belief. So when we pull up an actual scientific fact, it's a matter of which we believe it or not. No, we ain't playing that game. No, we're not.
All right, go ahead.
We can't.
As stated before, see, when you become a yes man, you set yourself up to be hung on your own extension cord. I didn't do this to you, Cedric. You did it to yourself. And then you stuck your chest out and you're slowly getting it caved in inch by inch. You're going to have to go seek treatment because you have now infused and projected claims on someone who never made a claim. All I did was read the teachings of the Bantu. And then I turned around and I went to the scientists on this show. So we're going to ignore these astrophysicists explaining how things came into being. On this show, we're going to ignore all of this right here. We're going to ignore this show. And you're going to bring this up on this show, and then you're going to act like you don't know what we're talking about over here now, You're confused now,
Okay, so I'm telling you right now, Earth is not a living thing, yo. I'm not arguing with y'all on that shit. Let's keep going.
You know, when
The Earth is not a living thing. Okay, it's a rock. Okay, it's cool. But are there other planets like planet Earth, right, that are not a living thing where life exists? I just want to know. I just want to answer to that. Because if there's life elsewhere, right, life existing and thriving the way that we're thriving and so forth, right? If life exists elsewhere, then that means it went through full maturation, as the teachings of the Congo said. Yes or no? Is that not a thing? If there's life as we know it existing in other areas, right, then that would substantiate what Cedric Googled or looked for to read, right, to answer the question. So he went to say, to give out that all the planets are the same age. He never gave us the source. He didn't say where he was reading from. He just started reading something and then was like, we ain't dealing with that. You don't know how to do this. I'm going to show you how to do this.
You know, Ted, the planets didn't cool down. They didn't cool down at the same rate. The Earth cooled down at a different rate from Mars when the solar system was formed. They're not all the same age, if you want to consider it that way.
So the African's right. Oh.
See, first of all, I got enough sense to know that the Earth turned to molten lava several times, but I don't feel like getting into all that.
All right, so here we are, Ankh versus Ankh.
The Bible was too, bro. So what the man say, Sean?
No, you talking shit.
Sean, what the man say?
You see how you listen? Your competency level is low. You hanging around the wrong people. You're hanging around the wrong people. I'm telling you this right now. Who the hell said that people prehistoric knew the Big Bang, understood the Big Bang? Nobody understands the Big Bang. They still don't even understand it today. Who said? I never made a claim that people in Africa.
What's the statement about them hanging around the wrong people, yo? What's that?
You are, if your competency level is low.
You are. Look who next to you. Your yes man, Cedric. It's just you and Cedric on the show. When we get on here and you breaking down this video over here or claiming to act like or fake like you're breaking down the video, who is backing you up, Ankh? Cedric. You're hanging around the wrong people. How do you come to succumb to this ignorance? You're the smartest person in the room, remember? You're supposed to get out. You stayed. That's why I left.
Well, what's that though? That sounds like a slur to me.
Well, okay, well then I slurred you then, my nigga.
Okay, so I'm gonna shut up. What the fuck was you talking about the African Big Bang? Because you did do that, bro. Don't play.
First,
don't play. What was you saying? What was you trying to say in the same sentence?
Are you telling me these people weren't trying to explain the natural effects of the Earth?
Nigga, I'm saying that all that
that's not what I asked you.
Was wrong.
That is not what I asked
I'm saying they got it wrong.
Are you telling me?
I'm saying yeah, they was and they got it wrong is what I'm saying.
Okay,
they heard.
So they were trying to explain what.
So again, he says that they got it wrong, and then he double downs and says they got it all wrong. So when they sit there and say what they said about the fiery hot lava and all of that, Ankh, you said that they were wrong.
They was wrong. And the Bible was too, bro. The Bible was too, bro. The Hebrews was too.
You don't even know what the Bible is talking about.
They was trying to explain the world and how it came into being. Sean, don't sound like you back in 7 days. It sound like you backing down, though, Sean.
No, I ain't backing down. No, I stand
so
on
what
what
you saying? So what you saying? So what you standing on? We want you to stand on, Sean.
Okay, science still listen. Science.
Go back to the African shit.
No. Science. Don't run, motherfucker. Don't run.
You going to science now?
You want a Big Bang, right? You want a Big Bang, right? You want a Big Bang. They still have so many unanswered questions, but yet here we are. We talking about the Big Bang. I clearly stated what I stated in there. So for you to run left and move the goalpost,
okay, let's move it back, Sean. Sean, I just wanted to scratch the itch for you because it seemed like you had an itch. So get back. Hold on. So get back. It is an itch. That's why I'm gonna clear it up. So get back to the Africans and what now? What was you trying to say in that video? What?
What you mean? What? I said what I said in the video, and I
so
still
admit, okay, so you admit they got it all wrong then?
Got what wrong, huh? Everybody's trying to explain that natural world.
Nah, nigga, their explanation was wrong. Can we agree?
How was the explanation? What was wrong about the explanation?
I'm gonna make you say it because it was wrong.
What was wrong? Where? Show me where it was wrong.
It was wrong.
Show it.
It was wrong, Sean.
But it wasn't a fireball?
Nope.
It wasn't. So what? Nope. What happened?
Sean, ain't no oxygen in space to get no damn fire, Sean.
No. Listen
Sean,
to
there is no fire. Sean, no.
You're not listening. You're talking.
I'm gonna let you get yourself. Go ahead, you tap dancing.
So how was the Earth formed, So how was the Earth formed,
No damn fireball, Sean.
No.
Ain't no damn fire, Sean.
No. Forget all of that. How was the Earth formed?
I'm asking you a direct question.
I'm asking a direct question.
Gravity and dust particles colliding, bro.
And okay, so out of the colliding, what occurred? Was it a bang? Did the Earth overheat? What
Can't hear no sound. Can't hear no sound in space. There's no sound in space. So what's no bang?
I'm not saying
Sean.
I'm not saying all of this.
What are you saying then? So you saying things to be quiet.
No. Why are you running?
I just said it. I said it's gravity.
Explain. Okay, so
I said it's gravity.
Explain what happened.
I said it's gravity.
Two things collided, and then what happened?
I said particles collide together, and gravity pushes them together and they form. Okay so now what's next?
What form? What form, though?
You asked me how the earth formed, and I told you it's a big ass dust.
You said what form? So what form?
The earth. That ain't got nothing to do with fire, none of that.
Ain't got nothing to do with fire, none of that. Ain't got nothing to do with fire, none of that.
No, we're not.
All right, go ahead.
We can't.
Okay, so I'm telling you right now, Earth is not a living thing, yo. I'm not arguing with y'all on that shit. Let's keep going.
But Ted, the planets didn't cool down. They didn't cool down at the same rate. The Earth cooled down at a different rate from Mars when the solar system was formed. They're not all the same age, if you want to consider it that way.
So the African's right.
See, first of all, I got enough sense to know that the Earth turned to molten lava several times. But how can I get into all that?
So the Earth turned into molten lava several times. So what does molten lava look like? What does this look like to y'all? Right? What does that feel like? Molten lava feel like? But he just sit here and said, this is what I said, Ankh verse Ankh. You want to read the scientific article on it? When they talk about magma? If you really want to kick it, sent Rasta, since you feeling froggy, let's get into it. Is this what they're explaining? Magma? Huh? Lava flow? Magma that has erupted onto the Earth's surface is visually mesmerizing, molten rock. Is that what we're dealing with? Molten rock. That's what we're dealing with. The floor is usually we can get in. That's a blog. We don't get into that. But when we go right back here, and we go right back here, for the Bantu people, the Congo in particular, the universe as we see and know it is the result of primitive event that occurred in and around it, well known as the Lukulumwamba and Zambi God cooked dough, the magmatic matters, the Big Bang. It is the result of an expanding fire process that leaves behind through a cooling process satellites and planets. It is the process of the cosmic expanding fires. They're just explaining the natural world. And here we are. No one wants to talk about any of this. Yeah, the focus is elsewhere. So how much did they get right and how much did they get wrong? Ankh said all of it. He said all of it. So I'm literally confused now. I'm in a daze. I'm the one confused. Yes, the Igbo did say an explosion. And I would also agree with that too, Ben, that the Earth ain't alive. However, here we go.
But that's what they were saying, that planets be at different stages.
Right?
So the planet Earth and Sheffrin, like I said, his integrity came back at the 2:09 mark. I mean, at the 2 hour and 4 minute mark, somewhere around there. Sheffrin's integrity came back because he's saying, but Ankh, that's what they saying though. They saying it. Listen to him.
There are other large rocks crashed into the earth, which made the whole thing vaporize again to molten, right? This is how you get your moon.
Say it again.
The earth turned to molten lava several times. But how can I get into all that?
But that's what they were saying, that planets be at different
You realize it though, right?
You heard him. But that's what they're saying, is that planets be at different in other stages. You see what a confusion comes in at? Because earlier Sheffrin act like he ain't had no damn idea what was being said. But once it was read again to him, maybe a couple of times, maybe he would get it then, he would sit there and say what he said. He would sit there and say what he said. And then Ankh says he don't want to get into all the molten lava talk and how all of that transpired and things came to be. He didn't feel like doing all of that. You know why he didn't want to get into all of that? Because then it would make it look like, okay, they had an idea of what happened. They didn't confirm it, but they had an idea. So they're teaching these things based on their idea, right? What they thought. These are their teachings. But in this video, y'all kept saying, I'm claiming things. I can't claim anything. I am specifically showing you, and Ben was specifically showing you, and Kofi is specifically showing you, we are showing you how Africans saw their natural world and how they come to or succumb to the things that helped them get to where they had some level of thought process in explaining the unknown. You created the confusion. Now I'll leave probably a little bit after this.
Crashed into the earth, which made the whole thing vaporize again to molten, right? This is how you get your moon.
Yeah, you're right.
You keep just sitting up here acting like first of all, our earth is not the center of nothing.
No, it's not.
You see where they stuck at? You see where he stuck at? So let's go back to it again, because you don't have the book, so it's not like you can sit there and read it like you would read a scientific article and then try to understand what they're trying to explain. But you became very dismissive of this. Green planets like our own planet Earth can be thought of as the oldest planets to the solar systems. The Earth, for example, can be seen for the Bantu people as the oldest planet of the solar system. Green planets occupy the center of systems in our expanding universe. The expanding creative fire energy that departed from the first event, or the Big Bang, was not an experimental explosion from a laboratory, say the Bantu Congo. It was a natural, imperative order to bring a transformation process into being throughout the universe and into all planets until their full maturity, i.e., be able to breathe and give and carry life. To our present knowledge, our planet, the Earth, is the only planet known that has so far fulfilled this order. It is a green breeds and does not only give life, but it is able to sustain it as we know it. Is the planet Earth as we know it today the only planet to have life, carry on life? To give and carry on life? Is it as we know it today? As our present knowledge today, our Earth, the Earth, is the only planet known that has far fulfilled this order. You're missing the point, bro. You're missing it all the way, Rastaman. You my guy. But when we slowing it down, this is what I'm saying. Like, people are not listening. These are their teachings. And then it says, to our present knowledge, Our planet, the Earth, is the only planet known that has so far fulfilled this order. So I ask again, Rasta, is there any other planet that we know it in our solar system, in this universe, that has fulfilled the same obligations as the Earth has went through the same transformation or the same stages to get to a point to where life can exist and carry on? What other planet do we know has went through a transformation process like the Earth that we live in? Nah, Taharka, you can't say that. The pseudo killers do. The pseudo killers know everything because they clearly messed this up again. Clearly messed this up because there's no claims being made there. And then he said, bro, this is how slick this is. All of that was said over here, and then comes all the way back to this point, and then it says, to our present knowledge, our planet, the Earth, is the only planet known that has so far fulfilled this order. He is clearly saying right here, from our present knowledge, as we know it, this Earth, our Earth, is the only one to fulfill this order as we know it. He said all of that and then came back to, so far what we know today is that our Earth is the only Earth that has reached its maturity level. And y'all never say nothing about that. You're not answering the question. You're jumping around now. You're looking for a way out. You're saying there are planets out there with the potential of supporting life. But I asked you earlier, and I ask again, what other planet has life on it like us? I didn't ask what other planets that have the potential to support life. I said, what other planet is like Earth? I didn't say what had potential. Mars can have potential of supporting life. That we know because they've been sending robots there to drive around and look for life on Mars. So do you give them credit for, do you give him credit for that, or do you not give them credit for that? All right, so apparently you're stuck at green, Rasta. The teachings of the Congo, they just okay, so if they would have said the black, you would have a problem with black. If they would have said the blue, you would have had a problem with blue. They just specifically did. See, this is the problem here, man. They just call the Earth a green planet. Green to say that life can exist here. That life not can, but life exists here. We got forest, we got grass, we got all kinds of life here. You got hominids of all going through all maturations, evolving, all things evolving. That's transpiring. They just call it a color. Why are you so caught up in the damn color? So let's take that's what I said earlier. Take the color out of it. Is there another Earth in this universe? Is there another Earth in this universe where life can sustain and evolve as we have evolved and is at this stage in our solar system? Out of all the planets hovering around our sun right now, how many of them are just like the Earth? We take the color out of it and we just say the Earth. So we know our planet and all things that's going on inside of our planet. Is there another planet in our solar system that's hovering around this sun, moving at rapid speeds, like Earth. So when the Bantu say what they're saying, bro, they it's just their teachings. They're not making claims. They're basically they're just explaining things from their natural world, and they just labeled it a green planet. Now, when they and then this is their definitions. So now y'all, okay, so let me ask you this. Who has a problem with Africans defining things for themselves, for their understanding? Who has a problem with Africans teaching, with Africans defining things from themselves at this point? Because basically, what the Congo teachings is saying here is they're taking the color green and then they're defining what they mean by the color green. And I guess Ankh got a problem with that. So do you, Rasta, have a problem with that? Do the pseudo killers have a problem with them defining what they mean by green, gray, and red? And then it says gray planets. And then he explains gray planets are planets without life. They are without life yet because these planets are still in their cooling process stage, eventually heading towards their second, third, or fourth stage of the Killa dia Congo. Congo cosmogram's greatest stages are described by my works, and he goes further. So he's clearly explaining that gray planets are X, Y, and Z. He's defining things. He's saying those are planets without human beings on there. He goes further to say that gray planets are without life as we know it, i.e., they are without plants, animals, and of course, without human beings. The Bantu Congo teaching suggests that if left alone, these planets will eventually complete the 4 stages of planet transformation process, which is based on Congo cosmogram, i.e., the rise of planets, animals, and beings like humans share life on them. So this would go back since we talked about exoplanets, and you said, Rasta, the potential. He's saying here that the potential, these gray planets have the potential to have life on them. So you have to, do you agree with that or not? Because you just said that these planets have the potential. And he's saying that if left alone, these gray planets have the potential to have life on them. Plants, animals, and beings like humans. You see where the problem comes in at? Is that demonstration beats conversation, and I've demonstrated that in the initial onset of the conversation. So it really shouldn't have been no problems or issues. So let's go on further. Then he says red hot planets. Red or hot planets are actually burning planets. They are still matters in fusion without a clearly defined shape or form. They are at their primitive or first stage of planetary formation process, their Big Bang stage. These planets form the actual last frontier of a system such as our own. Beyond these frontiers are infinite dark fields to be invaded by future firing processes or expanding systems. The key word in this zone, Labuta, are extreme heat and greatest temperature. Here, everything is matter in fusion and gas. The red planets without form cannot avoid dinga process of the 4 greatest stages of planetary transformation process of the Killa, the cosmogram mentioned earlier. They will solidify through their cooling process, then eventually complete all other stages until the cosmogram of each planet is made a whole to bear life. These are their beliefs, not scientific claims. Correct. These are, you keep, okay, so their teachings has now been yielded down to the beliefs, and then their beliefs are now not being projected as scientific. So I don't know why you are doing it. So why are you equating them with scientific claims? What do you mean? I'm not equating them with scientific claims, bro. I'm not. I'm asking you a question. And then what does the science say? When I don't think that this is the problem that I have with you, right? Let's speak specifically to you right now. Here's the problem that I actually have with you is that you have a problem with the way Africans explain things. You do. You clearly have a problem with the way that they explain things because they ain't making claims. They're defining what they mean by certain things from their perspective, their vantage point. They can't have that, right? Because they don't. And remember, these are old teachings. These are the teachings of the Bantu Congo. Oh, because they're not Neil deGrasse Tyson, Krauss, and so forth, they can't have that. That thought process is old world thought, right? Let's just say that. They have an old world thought on how things came to being. It's their teachings. They're not making claims. They're not making scientific claims. But we can go to the science and we can put it to scrutiny. Well, I don't know how you come to this conclusion in your teachings. This is not all the way right and exact, but this is kind of sort of maybe how science explains certain parts of it, but not to that level. Nothing like you're saying in your teachings. When I say, what does the science say? I'm not saying. This is where I think that's why I lost you. I think that's why I lost you. Because I'm clearly saying this is what the Bantu teachings are, and this is what science says. And I'm not saying science is substantiating what they say. I'm saying science is not only clearly explaining what actually happened, right? But it's taking what they thought and their belief, and it is saying, well, you could have guessed this part right, but that's not the entire truth. You might have gotten a little bit of this right, but it's not the entire truth. I can see how you're defining Venus, Jupiter, right? I can see how you're Pluto. You're saying these are gray planets. In your teachings, you're saying those are gray planets. You're saying the Earth is a green, per se, a quote unquote green planet. You're saying that's what the Earth is. The Earth would be a green planet in your teachings. And these other planets would be gray. And then there's other planets in the universe, in our solar system, that would be red planets. Well, you're not saying Pluto, Venus, and all of that. You're not saying those are gray. My bad. Let me take that back. Let me correct myself. You're saying those planets are red planets. You're saying Saturn and Jupiter and Mars. You're saying planets like that are closer to Earth. You're saying those planets are gray planets. They have the potential to be like the Earth. Those exoplanets have the potential to be like Earth. Okay. Cedric, you listen, you're late, and I don't want to do you like this because you're late. You're going to have to rewind it, but you look like a freaking idiot. Because one, you never sourced up. You read something and never told nobody what it was you was reading. Two, you clearly can't explain how the Earth came to be, and you can't test what the Bantu says. Three, you don't even know what you don't even know if a claim was made or not. You projected a claim being made, and you don't know what you're talking about. So I suggest you to slow your ass all the way down. There's not a single astrophysicist on the island that you live in. So you don't know what you're talking to. So when I say that Americans like Krauss, like Neil deGrasse Tyson, when I name them, I'm naming Americans. Because these people are clearly explaining what happened to everybody else. You don't know nothing. You equated your ignorance, you projected your ignorance into this conversation as a yes man, and you didn't even understand what the conversation was about. You heard it 4 times and you never comprehended it. Your level of comprehension is ignorant. Ain't nothing to hash out, Rasta. We ain't got nothing to hash out, my brother. We depart here. This is where you and we depart here, and then we'll reconnect somewhere else. Because I never made a claim. Ever. I never said this, that, or the third. And sit there and let y'all do all of that capping on that show. All of that. First, see, that's where your ignorance is. Look what he says right here. Show me where Neil says the Congo people had the same conclusion. Let's see what that from and Krauss. That shows your level of ignorance, Cedric. Because anytime that I simply read Krauss and Neil deGrasse Tyson, I gave the source and I told you where I was reading from, and I never said that they were saying shit about what the Congo said. Absolutely nothing. No, you know what? I'm gonna do you a favor. Fuck out of here. Do yourself a favor and leave. Ain't nothing to hash out. What y'all scared of is you so anti something that you don't think that some people can actually have an educated guess about something. Cedric, you need to go back and you need to listen closely to what I said. You need to listen to this video all the way out. You need to have a proper command for what the hell is going on before you open your mouth in my direction. You don't never source up. I got all the sources. Ankh ain't got no sources. I got all the sources. I don't need Ankh. I don't need the pseudo killers. I got the experts in my video explaining how the earth came to be. But guess what else I got, Cedric? I got your boy Sheffrin and I got your boy Corey in the same show where I'm talking about the Bantu Congo going through their teachings. See, you see how you played yourself? It's real easy to get you out of here. It's real easy to get you out of here. You're a fucking joke at this point when it comes to this subject matter because you don't know how to do this. None of y'all do. It's evident. I can skip through this whole video. Not one source shown on the screen, not one explanation of everything. And then Ankh turns around and talks about molten lava. After I asked Ankh this, how did the earth form? And you call yourselves pseudo killers. This goes back to the theme of the show. This is Ankh versus Ankh. It gets no better than this. He simply contradicts himself here, and I didn't want to talk about that. You say all of that in this show, but in this show, when I asked you about how the earth formed, you didn't want to sit there and mention molten lava. You had a whole problem with these dudes' teachings saying that it is the result of an expanding fire process that leaves behind through a cooling process satellites and planets when they were explained in the universe. It is the process of cosmic expanding fires. See, y'all kept on mixing things up so much so. You kept mixing things up so much so that you confused yourselves, and then you didn't allow yourself, right? And shame on you. Shame on you. You run around here and talk about research methodology and sources and all of these things and trying to get things right. And lo and behold, you succumb to your own biases and you refused to read the source first before you concluded anything. You immediately was dismissive. You called me on my cell phone. What you talking about on the Big Bang? I'm going to check it out and then I'm going to tell you where you're wrong. Did you call me back on my cell phone and tell me where I was wrong? No, you didn't, nigga. You hit the live button. You hit the live button. You called me on my cell phone, asked me about the video, and I said, before you say anything about it, Ankh, check it out. You said, all right, I'm going to check it out. And you never called me back. You went live on the Pseudo Killers right here and asked me about it. You didn't call my phone. You brought me on. I got on the stream and you bring it up on YouTube. We had a phone conversation. You remember that? You called my phone. Yeah, I'm going to check it out. You never called my phone back and said you watched it. And then we never had a conversation about it on the phone. You wanted to have a conversation on YouTube. I don't give a damn about no God that cooks dough. That's irrelevant to me, Ankh. That's pettiness. I don't care about none of that. Those are the Bantu teachings. You said everything they said was wrong. But then he came right back. He came right back in this, Ankh, right? Because I know you like to leave and not pay attention and come back. And then he says, to our present knowledge, our planet, the Earth, is the only planet known that has so far fulfilled this order. It is green and does not only give life, but it is able to sustain it up to now as well. You disagree with that too? Because he said it was green. Like, come on, bro. Like, seriously, take the color away. Let's go back to the first grade. You never call my phone. I get on a stream and then you want to talk to me in front of your crowd about that. So when I said what I said the other day, and I told you, I said you was trying to play me on the Pseudo Killers. I didn't lie because you called my phone first. So when I throw these spears back at you, you got to take them. I ain't got no problem with it. All fair, all is fair in love and critique, in scholarship and information. Nobody told you that you had to read anything. I read it for you. And I read the explanation, and your biases got in the way. You know, you claim to be a science advocate, but yet your research methodology in the course of this discussion has wavered. Now you have failed the community. Ankh West has failed the community. All that research methodology stuff out the window on the Pseudo Killers channel. Don't even matter over there. They don't care nothing about that. They don't need to know no methodology. That's why they go over there and they do what they do. It's evident. Because your biases immediately got in the way and you begin to project your ignorance on what the Congo teachings are and what they say. You have failed the community, Ankh. This is the case, the classic case of Ankh versus Ankh. Him not wanting to answer a question here, and then here over here talking about molten lava and the whole nine here. And then his cronies was acting like they was never in the chats. But Corey and his buddy Chevron was clearly in the chats while I was reading that source. They brought no point of contention into this when I was reading it. You don't believe me? They still in the chat. You see Corey, you see Rasta, you see Chevron. He's still here. There's other people here. It's a party. We got the pseudo killers in the building. We talking about the topic that they love. So I guess y'all the only people that could talk about it. Nope. Because I rocks with it too. I don't get as deep as y'all do into it. But I love how the universe came to be too. I love the whole little story. I love the speed of the earth on its axis. I love all that. How fast the earth is rotating around us. I love all that. I'm into that. But you, with your bias ass, right, told me to strap up. Nah, you strap up because you just made yourself look silly because you arguing against something that somebody ain't even say. Those are the teachings of the Bantu. And then I went directly to science, and then I let science tell you the specifics. I let science explain how things came to be. So then we can see what the science says, and then we can see what these little teachings are. And Rasta 1 minute says, well, they got some stuff, not everything. And then other people say they got some stuff, not everything. And then Ankh says they ain't got none of that. It's just their teachings. I don't drink, so I can't be on anything. But I know on this subject matter, I got your ass lined up. Ankh versus Ankh. You clearly are two different people, here and here. Here and here. Which Ankh is the real Ankh? Would you please stand up? Where's the Ankh that teach research methodology? Where's Ankh that knows the first rule in the research methodology is you have to remove all your biases. You know, like the book that I wrote about Islam. You know dang old well that book that I wrote about Islam was the hardest book for me to write. Why? Because I had already known what they did to Africa, to the continent of Africa, how they carved it up and decimated it, how they got rid of people's beliefs and traditions and culture and all of that. And then things that they did, like they wanted to continue to infuse it because they had similar things over there where they from. I had to remove all biases and read all of them books, every single last one of them. And then I wrote my book, removing my biases. You know dang on well I don't even want to pull up the scientific method. I don't even want to go through that with you. But you know dang on well that you can't come into a conversation with a bias. And that's what y'all do on the pseudo killers. You come into things with a bias. Instead of slowing down, reading the subject matter, and getting a command of what's actually going on and then dealing with it, you do the opposite. See, this is the difference between you and I. I'm teaching you now, Ankh. Listen very closely to what I learned from you that you seem to have forgotten. So pseudo killers, pay attention. You watch the video. You listen for the claims. If there's no claims being made, if there's no claims, meaning the person that's watching the video is not making any claims, then you deal with the source. So when you go and you deal with the source, you have to go find substantiating evidence. Now, you just don't just jump into it and deal with the source. There has to be claims that are made. So now you have to bullet point the claims that are being made. See, Wujawu teaches us this. When we in the session, Wujawu says when you watch these videos, you got to point for point it. So now you got to timestamp it. You got to go to the timestamp where the claim is made. Then you got to replay the claim, and then you got to go and do your due diligence on that work. You got to find the pros and the cons, and then you have supportive evidence. You find out how much information supports the claim and how much information doesn't support the claim. And when you deal with those two things, then you're able to present your information regarding bullet point 1. Y'all Negroes didn't even do that. Ankh kept the bias, held on to his bias, and waited till we got off air to change up. You know, typical Ankh. I'm on your head, boy. I'm on your head. I don't care nothing about no religion. See, that's where you stuck. You stuck at the word God, not me. You stuck at the word, you stuck at belief. I'm not. I'm past all of that because I don't give a damn. It doesn't consume me because I know what the science says. So it ain't no argument for me because I understand the science. I have no problem reading it. I read the science here. That is the problem. You clearly have a bias. Until you remove the bias, you can't argue it. You're just projecting. And if someone don't think the way you want them to think, then you have a problem with that. So you did all that kikiing for 4 hours and 49 minutes because I don't know what the rest of that is. I don't know what the rest of that is. Just this point right here where I came in at and deal with me coming up on the screen. That's all I'm dealing with. When I come up on the screen, you kikiing, ha ha ha, laughing, giggly giggly, making claims, projecting things. I ain't do none of that. None. Zero. Zilch. Zilch. And you know damn well that is not how you do it. See, that's why you will send me a video about Umar and them and all them fools talking about vaccine viruses and so forth, because I know how to do the work to properly critique the video and then deal with the case by case claims and then give you the data behind it that kills the claims. That is a pseudo killer. That is an assassin. See, I didn't just learn that from you. I learned that from the Hisi. Because he quiet about it. He don't say nothing. He just stand back and look at people make crazy comments and say certain things and act like they're doing something. And then he'll let me know, hey, you did a real good job here. You did a real good job there. You know, he give me feedback. He tell me what I need to correct. And he tell me if I'm wrong on something. He say all of that. But no, none of y'all know. Until now. You called my phone and said you was going to watch the video and then let me know. You never called me back, but you had a lot to say. Soon as I hit the link and we weren't talking, I wasn't going to play the video about the boosters. So you wanted to find something to argue with me about. And then you got mad at me at the show yesterday because I was messing with your behind back. Cedric, just be glad that I unblocked you and let you comment in the chat. You the real coward because you made claims that I didn't make. You said things that I didn't say. You said you out your mouth in this video. You said things I never said. I read from the source and lo and behold, I went back to the video to show Rasta, to show Sheffrin, and to show Corey in the chat while I'm reading the same source that y'all act like I wasn't even reading from. I'm not you, Cedric. I don't hit the live button and start talking. When I go live, I got sources. I don't do barbershop talk. I go live and I teach, or I go live and I inform, or I go live and I do. I like to read. And I want people, while I'm reading, I want people to peep this and we get into it. We can have a conversation about it. Literature review. I just don't go live and start talking. You said that I made claims that I didn't make, Cedric. I didn't make no claims. None. Zero. You was wrong. Absolutely. Wholehearted wrong. And you're disingenuous for that. You tried to laugh and kiki and do all of that. I ain't do none of that. I clearly in this video show where you was wrong. showed where Chef and Corey was wrong because they act like the Congo didn't say certain things and that they were actually confused. And then I showed Cheffrin's integrity coming back into the discussion and saying, well, you know what? They got that right. And then we clearly told Ankh yesterday, we didn't care how they got it right. We don't know what they did to come to that. We don't know. We said we don't know. We kept saying this. We gave all these different places talking about certain aspects of certain things and explaining certain things. And then we said we don't know. Some y'all never do. Ever. I ain't seen the only person. Let me take that back. CK, this ain't got nothing to do with you. Cheffrin, outside of CK, Cheffrin, and I heard Corey say it. Cheffrin and Corey, I got to be honest. Cheffrin and Corey and CK have all been quoted as saying when they don't know something, they say they don't know. But when, see, you still in the chat and you just talking. You did do a video of what a claim is, CK. You absolutely did. And they ain't watched it. If you're going to be a pseudo killer, you need to watch CK videos. If you're going to be a pseudo killer, you got to know what proper research methodology is. If you're going to be a pseudo killer, you got to understand if Sean is making a claim or someone else. If you're going to be a pseudo killer, you got to deal with the science and then what the non-science is saying. This is what you got to do. Instead of all this kikiing for 4.5 hours, 4 hours and 49 minutes, you need to do a better job than that. Because I got the videos. I went back to him. I know who was in the chats. Not Corey, not Rasta, not Cheffrin had a problem with what was going on the way the Congos was doing their teachings. Not one. None of them. They were in there the whole time, yo. The whole time. And then I went right back to the science videos. Look, this is a science video. Look. Some of y'all can't even afford the channel. It's the science channel. Oh, you didn't know that Sean have the science channel in his cable package? I actually do. And there's tons of episodes. Look at this. This is me logging in and doing all of that. Like, come on now. I'm doing all of that. I got the scientists on here doing their thing, yo. I got the scientists on here doing their thing. But this shows the immaturity and the ignorance level of people who just want to argue empty arguments. So go watch a video and show me where I made a claim. You said I don't have a source? Are you serious? Are you serious? I put the sources up. And anytime that I talked about Neil deGrasse Tyson and anytime I talked about Robert Krauss, I gave the source. See, this is where you're wrong at. I put the source on the screen. There go the source on the screen. Corey and your boy was in the chat. Oh, look at here. Look at here. African cosmology of Bantu principles of life living with blah, 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 Fukiao. The source is in the video. Tell me when you've ever did anything that got the sources. Show me. Show me. You ain't did nothing but run your and bump your gums. Ankh, get your boy. Matter of fact, let him go on and chill himself out. Chill himself out. He got 2 Twitter thumbs. Twitter thumbs. He been wrong the whole time. Twitter thumbs. Twitter thumbs. You've been wrong the whole entire time. Talking about I ain't got no source. Let me go back to my book and open it up for you. Dark Energy Fills the Cosmos by Paul Press. Origins, 14 Billion Years of Cosmic Evolution by Neil deGrasse Tyson and Donald Goldsmith. Lawrence Krauss, A Universe from Nothing. 3 sources from astrophysics, and then I also named some journals in the last video that I actually did. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing for you. I actually read what the scientists say. I actually read that, but you came in here late, so you don't know any better. So you just bumping your gums and you making yourself look super ignorant. You've been lined up. You've been lined up. You said they got it all wrong. You don't even know what they say because you ain't never read it, and you ain't never listened to anything that was said by the Congo, and no one projected them to get everything right. You said that they got it all wrong, and then Rasta disagrees with you, and then Sheffrin disagrees with you, Fitz disagrees with you, other people in the chat disagree with you. You said they got it all wrong. And Q said, "This is how I felt watching Matrix 4." And Rasta, as far as the biases, yeah, people, I agree. Everybody has biases, but when you're doing research, you're supposed to remove your biases. And if you don't know how to do that, then you have personal issues with research, and your research is going to be flawed. And guess what? Science is going to reject. Science is going to reject your findings because your biases are going to come out in your research. You don't believe me? That's methodology 101. That's methodology 101. Hey, CK, I ain't fight with nobody. I know how to eliminate all of that. I know how to mute the noise. That channel does not dictate what we do over here on the Masi Warrior Clan. That channel, however, can continue to promote not paying attention to the Masi Warrior Clan if they want to, or to make it seem like the Masi Warrior Clan are saying things that they did not say or clearly state that is on video. So when the dust settles, Cedric ass is in checkmate.
Carter on the beat.